This is not coming. This is here. No matter what happens in this world with AI, human relationships, especially in our industry, are always going to be the number one thing. So use AI to do everything else and spend as much time as you can doing that one thing.
Without further ado, let's welcome Stefanie Couch. She is going to cover a great session today about intelligent branding, where AI meets strategy. So we're so happy to have her. Help me give her a warm welcome.
I'm going to just give you a quick little snippet of my background so you know who I am. I was actually born into a family lumberyard in Atlanta, Georgia. My granddad opened it in the 60s, and then my dad and his two brothers continued it throughout the 90s. And then when I was about 5, we moved up and started another location in North Georgia, which is where I live now. After about 10 years of working there, helping my dad manage that, when I graduated from high school, I actually went to a large 2-step distributor and helped them scale their building materials business in the door division from 1 location to 10. We started at around $4 million a year, and when I left, we were at around $200 million a year. So I love building businesses, and one thing that I found throughout my career is that the more you can be unmistakable, that no one would ever think you are someone else because you stand out in your market, the better off you are. The more profit you can make, and the less you have to compete on price. Who in here likes to compete on price? Anybody? Who here likes to make a lot of money? Anybody? Okay, awesome. Well, today we're going to talk about 2 things that I think can help you drive profit to your bottom line. That is AI and using tools, and branding, so standing out. And one of my hypotheses that in the next few years, as AI becomes more prevalent, it's actually going to be more and more important that you have a brand, because anyone can copy things that used to be pretty difficult. AI makes it easy to write social media posts, it makes it easy to update things like blogs, your website, but what they cannot replicate with AI is your story. And so story and telling that unique perspective is going to become more and more important. That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you will get out your phones, if everyone wants to scan this QR code, we're going to have several of these little pop-ups throughout where we can just get some information. I like to scan the audience to see who I'm talking to and kind of what you guys are doing as far as your day-to-day. And then throughout this presentation, I absolutely love to answer questions on the fly. It's one of my favorite things. So there is a microphone right here in the middle, and I am actually going to see if Haley throughout, if someone raises their hand, if you have a question, interrupt me and just raise your hand and we will bring you the mic throughout. I want to answer these as we're going instead of wait until the very end. But there is a way to respond to these questions also with questions. So we'll have a Q&A, formal Q&A at the end. But the question here is, how are you currently using AI in your business? So it looks like 33 of you, still moving up, are using it every day. That's amazing. So someone that's using this every day, kind of just throw out a quick, what are you using? What platform or what are you using it for? Just shout it out. Chat GPT. Okay, what are you using it for? Email. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, who said Gemini? All right, are you using Notebook LM or just regular Gemini?
Just regular Gemini.
Okay, what are you using it for?
A lot of gems.
Okay.
A lot of specialty.
Love that.
Within there.
Okay. Social media posts, somebody said?
Yeah.
What are you writing social media posts on? Chat GPT?
Yeah, chat.
Okay, very cool. All right, 26 of you said weekly, 23 said tried a few times, and 26 said curious. So pretty equal numbers, that's pretty cool. So if we talk a little bit more about advanced stuff in here, obviously for you beginners, just take some notes on like, hey, that's cool. But I would love to also speak to some of you beginners that maybe haven't tried it yet. All right, next question. It should just, you don't have to scan it again. You should just be able to answer it on your phone. So if y'all want to just pop this up. One thing that's interesting that's happened to me in the last few months is I was a thorough ChatGPT evangelist, and I still am. But in the last 3 to 4 months, I have started using Claude for almost every single thing I do that involves writing. I have found that it is a way more sophisticated tool, and I have to do a lot less editing to get it to sound like me if you program it right. So that actually is something that if you've heard me speak at these other conferences at September, I did not mention Claude really, but now I am a Claude enthusiast. So it's made by a company called Anthropic, and it's Claude.com is the website. All right, so it looks like ChatGPT is still way far and away winning this game here, but a little bit of Claude, a little bit of Gemini, a little bit of Copilot, and then other AI tools. What is the biggest problem you want to solve with AI? Is it admin work, like writing emails, responding to things, maybe Google reviews? Maybe you're using it to try to stand out in your business with marketing and visibility. Operational tasks, maybe you're doing things like inventory with it. You're trying to figure out your financial data. You're doing sales and customer service work with it. Some people might be using it for things like video editing, which I guess could be under that visibility. All right, awesome. Well, a lot of people care about visibility and marketing in here, which is good. You got a question?
Legal is not there.
Legal is, I guess we put that under the other category, but I love that. So tell me how you're using it, Fernando, for legal.
Everything.
Okay, so it's your lawyer now, huh?
Upload everything and get recommendations as to what to do with everything.
You're not the only one, because this girl can't afford a lawyer yet, so ChatGPT is it. I love that. If you're using it for legal, obviously I am not a lawyer, so I know this kind of looks like an episode of Legally Blonde, but it isn't. And so I do not give legal advice, and ChatGPT does say, hey, I technically can't give legal advice, but it could get you 90% of the way there, so a real lawyer only charges you for like 1 hour instead of 10, right? So that's great advice. All right. And then what is stopping you from solving that biggest problem? So you just put in there that you were using it for visibility or whatever thing that you said, maybe legal like Fernando. What is the thing that's stopping you from really using AI? Maybe if you didn't put that you're using it daily or weekly. All right, knowledge of how to execute it. That's usually what most people say. One of the best things I love about AI is that AI will teach you how to use AI. How many of you have ever asked your ChatGPT or your other platform how to do something on it? Okay, great. It will also help you write what we call prompts, which is probably the most important part of utilizing AI correctly and really getting optimized, is telling it directions. How many of you have a significant other or kids that you try to get to do things? Anybody in here? If you give, I'll use my husband because he's in the back, so I'm going to pick on him a little bit. If I give Ben instructions of like, hey, can you go get something for dinner? And that's all I say, then if he comes back with something that is really not what I was craving, I can't really get too upset with him because I didn't give him really good prompts. But if I ask him to go to the store and get a filet mignon with a baked potato with sour cream and chives and the whole thing and Caesar salad and all these things, if he comes home without that, I could be a little disappointed. AI is the exact same way. The more detail you give AI, the better outcomes you're going to get. And one way that I do that is actually by talking to it. So maybe you've already noticed I like to talk. And talking to your AI is much like how you would actually communicate with another human. And typing to something, usually you're way less detailed. Even if you're a really great typer and you type really fast, you just talk so much quicker. So there is a tool that I use. It's a free Chrome extension, and it's called VoiceIn. VoiceIn, and it's totally free, and you can download it on your computer. And then a lot of these platforms actually have a dictate option right in the platform. But VoiceIn, what I love about it, is it actually shows you what you're saying as you're saying it, so it shows you, you don't have to wait till the very end of a 2-minute prompt to see what it said. So there's several options there, but that's one of my little tricks. All right, last question. This one's a free text. So what do you hope to take away from this session today, or what do you hope to learn? Because I want to make sure that y'all walk away and give me a 5-star review, because I don't want to get fired from Do It Best. That would be terrible. All right, different ways to use AI, ideas, learning new strategies, better idea on how it works, how others are using it. And during our question and answer time, I would be so excited to show you guys some actual live ChatGPT or Claude. All right, thank you guys for participating in that. Today, I want to start with a quote from Jeff Bezos, and this is something that I heard him say the other day to an answer to a question of, there's so many things that are out there, and there's so much noise in the market with different platforms that are coming out, different things you could do, and we all have limited time and resources. So what he said that I thought was really big was, what are the things in your business that you know no matter what happens, people are still gonna need and want? People are always going to want great products. Do you guys agree with that? They're always going to expect great service from you. No matter how much AI takes over the world, they're still gonna want great service. They're always going to want things faster. Now, sometimes that's not true if the job site's not ready, but most of the time, if they're ready for it, they want it immediately. If Amazon has proven anything, it's that next day is a big deal. They will always want it at a fair price. So you maybe don't have to be the cheapest, especially in a high margin category. I love to sell doors and windows, and if they're really complicated, sometimes it doesn't really matter how much you price them. If someone wants them, they're gonna buy them. Anybody in here sell that type of product? Great, awesome. So what I want you to be thinking about is, in your business, what are the things that you know for sure will not change? And then how can you use AI to get better at those? Because you're not taking a gamble there. Because you know if you're faster at responding to customers because you use AI, that they're gonna be happy about it, as long as the service is still good. You know that if you can be more competitive on price because you use AI, maybe for pricing to measure the market, that customers are gonna love that. So what I want you to be thinking about is, what in your business could you take away tomorrow? I want you to try to think about just one thing, because I'm gonna talk about a lot of stuff today, but I want you to hear one thing and write it down, and when you go back to your office on Monday, you're gonna implement this. Because I've sat in a lot of workshops and a lot of speaking events like this, and if you do nothing, you've wasted your time, and so have I. So I want you to go crush it Monday with whatever you decide to take away. Today, what I want to talk about is how knowledge plus attention equals money. And I believe that attention is the new currency. Because like I said, AI is making it easier to do a lot of other things. And if you don't have a brand that people pay attention to, nobody's going to hear you. They're going to be indifferent. I used to run a local hardware and lumberyard, so I can actually speak from experience that you have to do a lot of things. How many of you wear about 50 hats every day? Anybody in here? You're the marketing person, you're probably a salesperson, you probably order inventory, you might even drive a truck or a forklift. But you need to be good at the technical, at the personal relationship part, and you've got to know your local market. And AI can help you do that. This is really a strength and a challenge of being a small business in a local market. You don't have the span of someone like Home Depot or Lowe's, but you also know your customers' faces when they walk in the door, which is a huge advantage in my opinion. Some of the challenges that I think you can solve with AI, and this may be where you might want to write down that one thing you're going to solve. When new products hit your shelf, your team sells what they already know that's already been there, and they don't sell the new stuff. Anybody have that problem in their day-to-day? Okay, so you come to this show, you buy something you're really pumped up about, you're like, I'm gonna make so much off this, the customers are gonna love it, and your team doesn't ever sell it. So I think you can help train your team with AI. Your employees don't know the answer to technical details and answers for customer questions. So how many of you are hiring talent that's never worked in a store like yours before, and they're coming in maybe green off the street, like maybe an 18-year-old straight out of high school that doesn't even know anything about anything? AI can help you do that, train them of how the technical details should be done. And I'm going to show you something in a minute, a voice agent that can help with that. Another challenge is that you're competing against competitors that have millions or maybe even billions of dollars to spend on marketing. They have more locations and dedicated teams to market. But AI can be your marketing expert without you having to pay it more than that $20 per month for ChatGPT. And finally, you get a good counter person, they're trained, and then they quit. Anybody have that happen? And all that beautiful knowledge that was in their brain walks out the door, and you don't have it anywhere on standard operating. That can be solved easily with AI. Customers come in for the same thing every time because no one showed them that there's a better option. You don't upsell, and you leave lots of money on the table. Which one of those things hit you in the gut when I said it? Keeping good employees and training one looks like it's going to be the winner. All right, so somebody call out to me what you might want to train an employee on. Just give me something kind of simple that would be pretty easy to have an SOP for. Anybody want to throw something out there that maybe you need in your day-to-day right now? Paint? Okay. What paint line? Okay. All right, we're going to go do a live demo, and we're going to see what happens. This is live, so it's kind of like playing with explosives. You never know what's going to happen. So I have a hardware store in Georgia named Steph's Hardware. I need to train my new employees on paint, and they know nothing. You see how I made some typos there? Not even going to correct that. Just act like it didn't happen. Chat's going to fix that for me. All right, we're going to say a 1-week training program, and we're going to say for 2 hours a day. All right, so I did not give that enough information to really make this great. So what I really want to do is go find the link to all the profile from the actual website of Limitless Paint. I would put that in to make sure it's pulling the right stuff. But for this demo, I'm just going to show you how quickly it can show you. All right, 1-week paint training program, 2 hours a day. We're going to structure this as 20 minutes of a short lesson, 40 minutes of product walkthrough and demos, 40 minutes of hands-on practice. So we're going to let them use the paint mixer, sell some paint, and then role play with customers. So that's going to be, maybe somebody else on your team. So then we're going to show them paint basics. So we're going to start with a lesson on pigment, binder, what makes it stick, solvent, whether it's oil-based or water-based, and then additives for performance. Does that look like where you would start if someone knew nothing about paint? Okay. Then sheens, you would want to know, what sheens to use where, all those things. Hands-on, role play. All right, so all of this now on day 2, we're going to go to the actual line here. So I don't really think this is detailed enough. Do you guys think this is detailed enough? Could you make a program from this? I mean, it's close. So I'm going to try this voice thing again and see what happens. I want to make this better. What I would like to do is actually make this detailed to show exactly what I'm going to say and show. So for instance, on the sheens, give me definitions of what the difference between a sheen is. Then help me know when a customer might need one sheen versus the other, and how to upsell people to a better type of paint based on their needs. However, we don't want to be pushy. We always want to be a consultative salesperson who gives the customer what they need. All right, see how much faster that was to just talk into that? I got so much more detail. All right, you're doing the right thing. Thanks, chat. That's always affirming me. Most paint departments fail because employees are told what products are and not how to talk to customers. The real skill is this. All right, so let's look through, see what they've got here. So now it's even giving me some actual pictures here that you could use to show paint. Now you probably have these from your actual manufacturer on a swatch in the store, but if you didn't, here it is. A sheen is how shiny the paint is when the light hits it. How do you know if an 18-year-old that's never heard about paint sheen even understands what sheen is? But you've been selling paint for 20 years, so you don't even think about that. It's muscle memory to you. So ChatGPT or any other AI platform, what I find that it helps me do is think like a real amateur. Sometimes I am the real amateur. It depends on the subject. But if you've been doing something for a long time, it is hard to put yourself back in those shoes. All right, so let's keep scrolling down here. Flat paint, almost no shine, best for ceilings, low traffic rule. You guys can see what it's coming up with here. So now let's say that you want to put this into something to actually utilize this. We see day 2, how to upsell without being pushy. So I'm going to go down to the very bottom of this, and you see this button right here says copy. I'm going to copy this. and I'm gonna go and open a Google Doc. If you use Word, whatever you use works. This works in any platform. And I'm just gonna go hit New Google Doc, and then I'm gonna hit Paste, and I'm gonna put that right where it needs to be. It takes the pictures, it takes the paint mixing machine photos, it takes everything that gave me. Now let's just say that you don't like this picture, you have a better picture. Okay, great. You can delete it and then go up here to the image, and let's say you went to the website and you found an awesome picture from PPG. Maybe you have a picture of your people in your store. You can add it just right here, okay? Is that helpful to y'all? Yep. Okay. Whenever you're done with this, one of the things I see that people miss is they make these big plans, but then they don't check in, right? They don't do any kind of like checkup or test or anything like that. So we're gonna ask this, if you aren't thinking of this, you're gonna ask chat, what should we do? I think one of the negatives of training programs is we spend a week talking about this and there's no check-ins, there's no scoreboard. How could I make sure that my team is actually doing this, and how can I incentivize them to sell more paint? So now we're moving out of a training role and into some sort of managerial like sales incentive role, right? Anybody in here have sales incentive plans in your stores for your salespeople? Any kind of contest or anything? If you get the right person that's competitive and you want to figure out how to sell more in your store, put some little promo together for a $50 gift card and say whoever sells the most paint this week wins this and gets bragging rights. When I worked at Two-Step Distribution, I started there when I was 25, and one of the first things that happened to me was they said, hey, we're gonna run a promotion on flush glazed doors, because everybody was buying those cheap insert doors and Therma-Tru wanted to sell more flush glazed. So they said, whoever out of the 5 of y'all sell the most flush glazed doors in this 3-month period win $1,000 and a trophy. And I was more excited about the trophy than the $1,000. But I sold 700 flush glazed doors in that 3-month period and just whooped everybody else because I was like, I will not lose this. And I won that $1,000. And it's been like 15 years, and here I am telling that story. So if you find the right person that's incentivized, first of all, if they're in a sales role, they better be incentivized by selling more or winning or money. Like, that's who you want in those roles. But if you can find a way to incentivize them, then they will play the game and they will try to win. So that's just a little tip. That's not about branding. That's just about making more money. But find a way to get your team to get engaged and care about what you're doing. All right, now I'm seeing the real problem, guys. Training alone does almost nothing. People sit through it, nod their head. What works is this. So we're gonna track the behavior, track the sales, and reward the wins. Create a paint scoreboard. Here you can see what it could look like, how many gallons they sold, what the revenue was, how many add-ons they got, because we're trying to incentivize them for upselling, and what the average ticket was. Is this something that y'all could do with your systems that you have pretty easily, you think? Okay. And then track the right behaviors. So not just selling, but asking about the project, making sure they're recommending the right tools to go with it. Maybe they need the paintbrush to go with the paint, all those things. And then tracking that. So this is the weekly huddle. You're gonna meet, talk about who's winning, so they know who's up on the scoreboard. Ooh, mystery shopper. That's cool. So you find somebody to go in and like test them to see how good their customer service is. And then you can give them incentives. So it's giving you options. So let's say we want to put that together. We're going to go put that into our document there. We're going to hit copy. And then we're going to go right up here and we're going to create a new tab in this document. And this is, y'all are literally watching how I use this. I mean, this is not just for this show. This is literally how I do ChatGPT. All right, and then if you wanted to make this a PDF, you can just come right up here and do this. One thing that I do want to show you is you've been seeing that ChatGPT is like my biggest fan, biggest cheerleader. That's not really that great. It feels good to your ego, but it's not objectively thinking. So you want to tell your AI, and if you remember nothing from this but this one thing, tell it to think objectively and don't just agree with you. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to do that and just see what it comes up with. You've been agreeing with me a lot. I want you to audit this plan objectively. Do not just agree with me. Think like the best trainer and salesperson in the world. Tell me what I'm getting right, what I'm getting wrong, and what I'm missing. All right, so now it's going to be honest with me and tell me there's a few gaps. So I'm getting right that I'm training with real conversations. I'm using cases instead of specs. So I'm talking about real things, not just technical details. I'm focusing on upselling through value, not just trying to be pushy. And I'm keeping score. What are you getting wrong? The training is still too theoretical. It's very lecture heavy. 2 hours a day is too long. So it's like, girl, you're crazy. What are you thinking? 2 hours a day on paint. That is like watching paint dry. So it's telling you, hey, this is the better format here. You can still do 2 hours, but let them practice in the department for an hour. You're not teaching the most important skill, how to diagnose a project quickly. So then it's going to give me this framework of here's the 5 questions to ask to make sure that your team knows exactly what they need. These 5 questions you guys could take back right now and go put this in. You're not teaching color confidence. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Warm colors versus cool, the lighting. Think about that. If you give someone a color and they're gonna try to have something that has a super natural light room, it's very different than if you're in a man cave in the basement, right? So you gotta be thinking about those things. So it's just telling you what you maybe missed. And so I'm gonna say, great, rewrite this plan with this in mind. So now this is the exact same plan I asked for before, but now it's got an advisory system that it's made with questions, which you could print out and give to your team. It's redone all of these days with different times. And so I would actually read this if we were in real life, but I'm gonna go back to this first tab, and I'm just gonna add this as a second option so I can look through and see if there's anything that I want from that first option. And we're just gonna go back and do the exact same thing. This does take a little while. You guys can see we're pushing the limits here. I am not using the free version of ChatGPT. So I have the supercharged Lamborghini version of AI because I use it so much. I do actually have the $200 version, but for all of you, I believe the $20 a month version should be sufficient. If you start using it enough to go to $200, it's still a lot cheaper than you could hire somebody to do any of this. So worst case scenario, it's $200 a month. It's still a great deal. All right, so you're gonna just make sure you take all the prompt stuff out of here, and then here's the second go. All right, any questions based on that? Because I just said a lot of stuff, so I want to pause and let y'all ask questions on anything I just said, anything you thought of based on that, anything that you are like, holy cow, that was cool. That was really not cool. I won't use this. What do y'all think?
Steph, if you wanted to put this like in a video,
Yeah.
then
Great question.
or a document, which AI are you using?
I would use Loom, Loom for video. Let me just show you. You want to see it? All right. So Loom is a tool they actually do have a free version of Loom as well. I think it's the same thing where it's like limited to maybe 5-minute videos or less, and you might be limited on some of the AI features, but it's a great tool. So I have it in my computer already. So you can see it's up here as a Chrome extension. So the first time you use this, you'll have to go to loom.com, download the Chrome extension, and then you can roll from there. So if I wanted my camera to show, because sometimes when you're looking at people, you can talk to them, hey guys, I'm here doing a training video. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure we're sharing the right screen if you had more than one screen. Hi everyone, it's Stephanie Couch and I'm here today filming this amazing paint training video for you. I'm so excited because this is a great promotion that we're running where you can actually win $500 if you sell the most paint in the month of April. So I want to walk you through exactly how this is going to work. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to implement the Paint Advisor system. The first question that you are going to ask customers is, what are you painting? Are you painting a wall? Are you painting a room? Is it a bathroom? We need to know all those details. Where is it located? What condition is the surface in? Is this a brand new construction? Is it old paint? All right, y'all get the idea, right? So now what I'm going to do is hit stop sharing. This video, again, could have been as long as I wanted it to be. So glad you asked this question. I should give you a $5 bill after this. All right, so what I just did here is made the 39-second video. But obviously it would have been longer if I had more details. This is what your team's going to see when you send that. Hopefully it works on my hotspot. And I'm here today filming this amazing paint training video. So y'all get the idea. The Wi-Fi is probably not going to let me do this, but the captions you can edit. So if there's something like my name was misspelled, you can edit the captions on here. And then my favorite part of this, I want to walk you through exactly how this is going to work. The first is that you can actually go, if you have the upgraded version, you can go get the transcript from this, and you can actually create a standard operating procedure for this process right here in Loom. This is why this is one of my favorite AI tools.
I think she has another question.
Okay.
Okay, but if you didn't want to be in the video yourself?
Oh yeah, just don't turn your camera on.
Or is there something that's gonna take all that AI information?
You could do it that way, but you're gonna waste more time trying to do that than doing what I just did. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have to show your face, I get that. You don't want to be on camera, it's fine. Just turn the camera off. But you narrating as you show your screen is going to show them exactly what you want them to do. And then the coolest part is look at this SOP that it's given me. So based on me hitting one button and hit generate, it has now given me a step-by-step guide to what I want them to do with screenshots of each screen. So the next question after ask about the project is inquire, what are you painting? What type of surface? That's all the things I said. And then if I wanted to put that PDF with it, then you've got a video for people who are really auditory learners or maybe visual learners. You've got the PDF for people that like to read. You've got 3 different mediums of learning. And then you can put that bad boy in a notebook and say, here's the video, here's all the things. There's no reason you shouldn't sell a ton of paint this week. All right, great question on the Loom. If you go back to your Loom, you can see all of the videos that you've made. You can obviously see that I actually use this. So creating instructions for a prompt for Claude. This is a video that I made that was 6 minutes long. My team loves these videos. I sent Marion a 22-minute video a few weeks ago on how to create an engaging blog for one of our customers. And it has a step-by-step guide right here of exactly what to do. Has that worked, Marion?
Yeah, absolutely. I am now the blog writing connoisseur.
She's not lying. It helps when you have someone who's really smart and can figure things out too. All right, so that is how I would use that if I were you. I would go ahead and make the program, and I would find a way to hit as many learning styles as you can with those people. So this is in your app, but if you're taking pictures of slides, this is one that I think would be a good way to see, like, hey, these are the top 3 things that I personally think you could start tomorrow and try one of these and really kill it. Customer experience, responding quickly. This is a statistic that I love. If you answer your phone and respond to a lead within 5 minutes or less, you are 22 times more likely to convert that lead. 22 times more likely. And it doesn't have to be a human answering the phone. It could be AI, it could be a voice agent, but if you could respond to an email, even just saying, hey, we know you exist, we're gonna handle this, we'll be back with you, it lets people know, hey, I shouldn't go call the next person because this person's gonna get back with me. I also think it can help with your knowledge capture like we talked about, so your team is better and they can give better customer experience. Training and operations, consistency and speed, faster onboarding, being able to search things quicker. You can make knowledge bases about your products so they can go search it in AI, and you can streamline your operations. Anybody in here sell lumber and building materials? How many of you would love to have a standard operating procedure for pre-trips for your trucks? Anybody in here do that, pre-trips? Check your straps, guys. Do you have flags in the car? Do you have windshield wiper fluid? Do you know, all those things are supposed to be checking. I mean, nobody does a pre-trip every time on the truck. If you do, like, homework for you. But at the beginning of the day, here's the list you guys should check, guys and gals should check on your trucks. That can be AI, super easy. And then sales, marketing, visibility, and social media. All right, are y'all ready for something mind-blowing? This is a voice agent that we built to sell doors. So Ben, my husband, built this, and he's actually the one talking to it. This is completely AI, and we did not prompt this of what to say. We just built this with some information about some products, and then we let him call it and test it, okay? So I'm just gonna show you how it works.
Hi, thank you for calling. I'm Krista with Grit Doors. How can I help you?
Yes, I was interested in replacing my front door.
That sounds like a great project. Are you replacing it as part of a remodel, or is it just time for an upgrade?
I think it's time for an upgrade. The weather's kind of got to it and it's starting to warp and crack a little bit.
Oh, I see. That definitely sounds like it's time for a fresh start. A new door can make such a difference, both in looks and durability. Do you have a specific style or material in mind? For example, fiberglass is a great option for weather resistance and energy efficiency.
I'm open to suggestions. I don't really know where to start. I just want something that looks good, but it's also strong and can stand up to weather.
Got it. For something strong and weather resistant, I'd recommend a fiberglass door. It's durable, low maintenance, and can handle humidity and temperature changes really well. Perfect for our climate here in the Southeast. Plus, fiberglass doors come in smooth or wood grain finishes, so you can get the look of wood without the upkeep. Do you know if you'd like a single door, or maybe one with side lights or a transom for extra light?
Wait a second. You said fiberglass is the strongest. I figured steel doors would be the strongest.
That's a great question. Steel doors are definitely strong and affordable, but they can dent if they take a hard hit and might need a bit more care to keep them looking good over time. Fiberglass, on the other hand, is super durable and resists dents, warping, and cracking. It's also better at insulating, which can help with energy efficiency. It really depends on what's most important to you: strength, maintenance, or energy performance. Would you like me to help you compare the two further?
No, I mean, I'm fine with fiberglass if that's what you think's the best option. I did have a question though. I think my current door is like a 3.0 by 6.8, and I wanted to put a bigger one in, and there's a transom above it now, so I didn't know if I could just put like an 8.0 door in there and take the transom out, or what the case is there.
That's a great idea, and it can really modernize the look of your entryway. If you're thinking about replacing the transom with a taller door, it's definitely possible, but it depends on the structure of your home. An 8-foot door would require modifying the framing above your current opening. This might involve removing the transom and adjusting the header, which is the structural support above the door. It's a bit of a bigger project, but it can be done with the right planning. Do you happen to know the rough opening size of your current door? Or would you like someone to help you figure that out?
Yeah, I don't even know what rough opening is.
No problem at all. The rough opening is the framed space in the wall where the door unit fits. It's usually a little larger than the door itself to allow for adjustments during installation. For example, if your current door is a 3.0 by 6.8, the rough opening might be about 38 inches wide and 82.5 inches tall. If you're going for an 8-foot door, the rough opening would need to be taller to fit the new height. Would you like me to have someone follow up with you to go over the details and help you plan for the change? I can also take down your contact info to make sure we stay in touch.
Yeah, that would be great.
Perfect. Let's start with your name. Could you share your first and last name, please?
Yeah, my first name is Ben.
Thanks, Ben. And what's your last name?
So that is obviously very, very detailed. Has anyone in here ever seen anything like that before or heard anything like that with AI? So this can actually make outbound calls too, which is even scarier. But the biggest thing is it does not have to do all that stuff. It could just answer the phone on the weekends or after hours when you can't answer, or maybe after the 5th ring when your team just can't get to the phone and say, hey, we can't come to the phone right now. Can I get your name, email address, and phone number, and we'll call you back. It could be that simple. It does not have to do all that other stuff, but I just wanted to show you what it, capacity-wise, what it is. How many of you have salespeople that you know work for you that could not do what that just did? Anybody? I know a lot of them. So what I see with that is maybe you hate AI talking to your customers and you're never gonna put that in front of your customers. You could let your team train with that. So you could have a training bot is what we call it, or training agent that they could run test calls with, and you could train it to actually ask your customer service person questions and then let them answer. And if they don't know the answer, you could say, what should I say? And they would say, oh yeah, if you're gonna take the transom out, you would need a rough opening of 95.5, and the transom that you have, the door needs to be 98.5, so you gotta get 3 more inches out of that header somewhere. All of that can be programmed, but I really just want you to know this is not coming. This is here. It's 2026, and every day when I wake up, I read AI news, and every day there's something huge, exponential that changes in the direction of this type of stuff. So in 2 to 3 years, I really believe that almost every single customer service agent in most industries will have this type of component to it in some way. If you call Delta Airlines right now, it's already 100% this. A lot of doctors' offices I call have this, a lot of different trades, you know. If you're out on the truck measuring windows and you can't get to the phone, the statistic around the missed call is that 68% of small business calls go unanswered, 68%. And of those 68%, 80% of those people never call back to your store if you don't answer, if it's their first time trying to call you. So as much as you would love a human to answer, the truth is they aren't answering all the time. So unless you feel really confident that you're always getting the phone, this is a great option as a backup.
So let's say we want it to pick up on the 5th ring or
Yeah.
on the weekends. What is the program we're using?
So we actually build these. We built this one, but there's a lot of different programs. You could actually build this yourself. So there's several different programs. There's a program called Replit. There's a lot of different programs that offer just this service, but a lot of the programming is a little bit tricky. It's not impossible. But if you're not really technically savvy, it'd be easier just to pay someone to do it, and then the cost per month is pretty nominal to keep it. And then if something breaks, like with our customers, when you test it, it's like, hey, this said this thing, and I don't want it to ever say that. We just go in and program it and say, hey, never say this thing, say this instead, and then it's easier. So you don't have to go through Grit Blueprint, but there are plenty of people doing it. This is called an AI voice agent, is what this is called. And then you can have this same exact thing on your website with a typing agent that uses the same database. So if you did this, if we set this up for you, I would build it to where if you wanted both, it's just one knowledge base. So when we change it one place, it changes at both places. Great question. Who else has questions around this or anything else so far? We'll take a little question break. Anybody? Yes?
So this is a product that you guys manufacture and sell?
Yeah, we build these for people.
What is the cost of
It depends on how complicated you want it. So I would say for setup, somewhere between around $3,000, usually for a relatively simple one. And then usually around $500 a month is the cost for the ongoing. If you have 30 stores, that obviously is not gonna be the same because your usage is gonna be different. But I would say for around $3,000 up front and $500 a month, you could get this to answer your phone all year. We have one client in Idaho that has 12 stores, and they have a lot of phone calls, and we had to do 12 different lines, and they really wanted every question that could ever be known to man on this thing. I do not recommend that. Here's why. If you want speed, which is what you want when people answer your phone, thank you for calling Stefanie's Hardware. How may I help you? You don't want to have to wait for that person to shuffle through 100 questions. That's what your AI agent is going to do before it answers questions. So the more stuff you put in there, the longer it has to go basically find it, and it's latency. So I would keep it simple. You want it to say, like, hey, do you sell doors? Yes, we sell doors. We sell Therma-Tru and Plastpro, something small like that, super simple. But if you start to do what I just showed you right there, you have to put so much in there. It is a longer time for the person to wait. So I would start simple. My 7th grade science teacher taught me KISS, keep it simple, stupid. He said that to me a lot. I'm still pretty upset about it, but that's what I like to do with these. Keep it simple, see how it works for you, then you can always add complications later. Any other questions around that?
Any other questions?
Yes, I'll come back to you.
So this is the initial interaction with your customer.
Yes.
From that stage, how do you,
Oh,
does it go
yes,
to
great question.
an actual person?
So this call comes in, and it comes to you via email, and you can get it via text as a summary. So you could get a, hey, Stefanie Couch just called. She wants to talk to you about paint. She's looking to paint her house. Or it could be the actual transcript where it says every single word that person said. Preference, we set it up either way. And then from there, once you set that up, then that will come to you in your email to one person, or you could have it go to a lot of different people. You can also have it go to a CRM. So if you have a CRM system, or if we have something we can make into sort of a CRM where you could go in and look at all your leads. So you could say, hey, we got 10 calls today that we haven't responded to. They're all in this column. I'm going to give 2 to you, 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 and y'all are going to knock those calls out right now. So you could easily do that with this. It's all automated. It can basically go into any system you want, something as simple as a Google Doc, like Google Sheets, something as complicated as Salesforce. Great question. Yes, sir?
So do you let the customers know they're talking to AI?
That's your choice. My husband likes to tell them it's AI. I don't know if it matters because so many people now that you call are using this. And also it's pretty darn good. You can change the voice. So if you want to make her a sweet Southern girl like me, you can make her Southern. If you want to make it a guy, you can make it a guy. If you want to make him from up north, you can make him British. You could do anything you want with the voices. There's a lot of options. If you want to make him a jolly old chap answering your phone, you can do it. So that is something that would be up to you. A lot of people do want to say, hey, thank you for calling Stefanie's Hardware. Our team members are currently helping customers in the store. I'm the AI agent, Sarah. Could I help you? And we'll get right back with you. So if you feel more comfortable that way, we can definitely do it that way. And if you have more than one store, you could test it. I always like to do those little experiments to see, is it making people mad because you're not telling them, or do they even notice? Yes?
I would like to create an agent for my employees.
Mm-hmm.
And where would be a good place to start? Because we get calls over the radio. It's, what do we sell this product?
Yep.
Where they can type in and I can load it and teach it with
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I would do if I were you. I would start with something like Loom to get the documents, right? Like you got to have the information to put into this thing. And I would take your 15 or 20 most frequently asked things that you hear, you're like, if someone asks this question on the radio one more time, I'm just done, right? Make a Loom video about it, take that SOP, and then go put it into what I call a knowledge base. There's a lot of different ones. So if you want to write this down, I mentioned Replit is one. And there's also another one that's customgpt.ai. You can build like anything with that. It's kind of insane. And these all cost money. I mean, free is not going to work here, but like we're trying to solve a problem that costs you a lot. So who cares if it's $100 a month, right? So I would go build it in that. But just like anything else, you're not going to have everything in there all at once. So take your Pareto principle of what are the 20 things you're getting asked 80% of the time, and what's costing you the most money. So if you are, like, what's your highest margin category? Plumbing? Okay. Tell me one question that you think you would like to answer about plumbing that you would want to put into the knowledge base.
what kind of toilets you carry.
Okay. What's the best toilet for the money? What should I buy? I'm some homeowner that doesn't know anything about anything. So you're gonna give like a good, better, best. Is that how you would do it? Okay, so we're gonna say, okay, Stefanie, we know you like pink, and Kohler has this $749 pink toilet, and I want it real bad in real life. This is not role play. And so you're like looking at me, you're like, whew, yeah, I got this one. That pink toilet's been sitting over there waiting for me to walk in the door with my husband's credit card. And here I am. So this is the best option. Better is what? American Standard upgrade toilet. I'm making up, I don't have brand loyalty, so please don't get mad if this is not what you sell. So then the next thing is this $129, you need this to work for a rental house for 6 months and you're good. That's what you would train into it. And then you might want to say, here's how you upsell Pinky up here for $800, right? And then you're going to pop all of that into that knowledge base. So then they can practice with it. All of those things they can do with you making that one video. And then what you have to do is say, go check the AI tool, it's in there. Or if it's not in there, you have to tell them like, hey, come to me and I'm gonna keep a running list of these are the next things we're gonna knock out. And one idea I just had that just sprung to mind is let your team get involved with making these videos. Like if you have one person that's really good at plumbing that loves to share their knowledge, like some person that's been working there forever, just get someone to record them on their cell phone of them talking about plumbing and then put it into ChatGPT and get the lessons from it and then just share the video on there and it'll go into that AI tool. That's a really great question, really good idea. I personally think training is the biggest problem in our industry because it costs us in so many different areas. Operations, admin, sales. I mean, there's just so many things that can go wrong because we don't train people well. And we have a whole generation that's about to be gone from our industry. And the only way that I can think of that we can actually solve that problem is to take some of the beauty out of their brain and put it into something that we can keep it. Yes?
You mentioned a knowledge database, and I was just curious, you know, a lot of times I have a young cashier up front that doesn't know where things are at.
Yeah.
Would it be easy to go in and just say do like a synopsis of each aisle? So if somebody walks in and says, hey, I'm looking for, you know, even if they're asking something really specific, it's something she could tap into pretty quickly and say, yeah, that's going to be on aisle 9 and somebody will meet you back there.
Yes, absolutely you can. So again, the front work is always going to be the hardest part of why that won't work. The AI will do it. It's just whether you have the right information in it for it to pull. So let me give y'all another little like amazing tool that I use. It's called a Plaud. It's spelled Plaud, Plaud. And it's the size of a credit card, and it's a little AI recorder. Because you don't want to be toting your laptop around, you know, recording stuff in ChatGPT. They're, I think, $150, and the subscription's like $5 a month or something for the recording to get it. You could walk around your store with this Plaud and be like, aisle 9, plumbing tees, CPVC, PVC, shark bites, you know, putty, tees, whatever you want to say, right? And then once you get all that, you go take that transcript, pop it into that little thing you're going to make, and then it's there. And if you did one aisle a day, I mean, how many aisles you got in your store? 35 days. So in a month and a little change, you got that bad boy working. If you get other people to help you, you might even be able to do it in 2 weeks.
Well, like right now, I've already got it all in the Excel spreadsheet. It's just a little cumbersome for
them to search it. Okay, even better.
Printed, which makes it worse. I mean, you should
Yeah.
actually flip them through.
So then just put that into a knowledge base using I would use customgpt.ai and just put all that in, tell it what you want it to do. There's also another thing called vibe coding. Anybody else heard of vibe coding? So it basically makes you be able to code like an actual software programmer without knowing crap about crap. Did y'all like how I edited that? Okay. So if you don't know anything about anything, you can go in there and build an app. It's insane. So you could literally go into Lovable and build what you just said as an app. But everything hinges on the right data. What starts screwed up, ends screwed up. So you got to make sure that you're giving it the right knowledge up front and telling it exactly what you want it to do. Yes, and then I'll come back to you. I saw your hand.
I was going to ask you, how do you deal with hallucinations? And the second question is, how easy is it to update and maintain all these documents, procedures?
Good question. On the hallucinations, that is a great point. All AI will make things up. Perplexity has the lowest number of make-up things. If you look at the numbers, Perplexity is one I use sometimes for research. I always tell my AI if it's something that I need factual, like if I'm using data, those statistics that I'm throwing out, I always say, cite the sources, do not make shit up. That's what I tell my AI. Sometimes it listens. Yes?
Do not hallucinate.
Say that?
Do not hallucinate.
Yeah, do not hallucinate. I just say don't make shit up, but it's the same thing, but you're a lot nicer about it. Yes?
You were talking about building the knowledge database. Are you saying to use Lovable to build that?
Lovable is a way to build an app because he's mentioning that it's hard for them to look through a lot of documents. That's just one tool, and you can actually build a branded app for yourself in Lovable. The knowledge base will be in another place. You can store it. Lovable has different places you can outreach to. So GitHub is one of them. And guys, if you're a first-time AI, this is I'm on advanced, we're in doctorate level over here. But just so don't freak out, holy crap, what is she talking about? But I want to answer their questions. GitHub is a knowledge base, and then you could also use a Google Doc knowledge base as well. If you have further questions about this very specific stuff, just get with us. I'll give you my contact info and we can help answer some of these questions. And if you're interested in us helping you do some of this, we can do that too. All right, I saw somebody else's hand over here. Yes?
Back to the phone. The
Okay.
phone is my nemesis.
Yep.
It rings all the time and I don't really care to answer,
Yeah.
to be honest. So, 2 questions. Demographically, my demographic is old men.
Mm-hmm.
What do they think about talking to AI?
Make it a girl. Make it a sweet girl.
You can kind of tell, a little
100%.
So, is the hang
Welcome
rate,
to Stephanie's Hardware. How may I help you, honey?
Is the hang-up rate, what do you see with the hang-up rate?
I think you are always going to have some people who are like, this is AI and I hate AI. I don't think most people are even going to know. They're not.
They know that this person
That you're the only one there. So maybe just tell them, hey, look, we really want to answer the phone so we can help you. And say, like he asked, tell them it's AI. This is our new AI assistant, and we are going to answer your question. We just need you to leave a message or ask the question, and it'll tell you, hey, we're going to call you back. I would be very thorough about giving them, don't try to have a ruse there. Just tell it, this is what this is. And then you can even tell them, guys, we're doing the best we can. We're a small business and we're trying to answer every phone call, but we want you to get the service you need, and so we're just testing this. And then get some feedback. The worst that can happen is they're like, we hate this, we're never going to talk to you again, and you just turn it off.
Sure.
I mean, that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is it works and you're answering phone calls and you're making money and you're not having to answer the phone that you hate so much.
So on the flip side, how are we not keeping it blasé? How are we making it custom, local, tailored?
Yeah, you can add all of that into that. I mean, really adding some personality and some of the things that are what you stock, it's really not that complicated. What I'm talking about that's super complicated is, hey, I'm going to fertilize my lawn for spring, and I need to know what the spreader settings are on this fertilizer so I don't nuke my yard and kill it. Don't put that in your thing. Sure. If it's a real risk, take the question, say, I will get a professional to call you back and help you. But if it's do you sell this? Do you sell that? Do you have this product category? Do you fill propane tanks? Do you, have mulch? Yes, we can put that in there. Super easy to program that. So I'm going to skip through some of this because we're covering lots of stuff. I do want to hit on this really quickly. Knowledge is power inside your company, so we've been talking a ton about that. Attention is power outside of it. So attention is the magnet that brings people into your doors, rings your phone, brings people back. You need to be posting a lot more than you think you do. How many times a week do you guys post on social media? Anybody post more than 1 time a week? Who posts more than 3 times a week? Keep your hand up. Every day? Woo-hoo, y'all are crushing. Every time that you post, only 5% of your people that are following you see it. That's people that are following you on a lot of the platforms. So just because you post doesn't mean people see it. And the best people in the world that are really getting a lot of attention on these platforms, they're posting a ridiculous amount of times to be seen. So just know that you need to post a lot. I do want to talk about this. I talked about be seen, attention is the new currency, and AI is going to help you be able to do a lot more than you could before. Who in here is really bad at marketing? You're not anymore. This can help you be really great at marketing. So when you start to prompt your ChatGPT or your Claude, tell it who you want it to be. This is really important. I would write this down. Give it a title and give it a job. So you are a world-class marketer. If you like a certain marketer, sometimes I'll tell it to write copy like Donald Miller. He wrote the book Story Brand. He's a great copywriter. I'll tell it to be Donald Miller. And then it's going to give you more content like what you want. The second thing after you're seen, so you get the attention, somebody sees you, then you need to make them actually remember you. You got to be known. So you want to build a brand with stories. Facts are searchable, and sometimes they matter, but stories are shareable, and they also are remembered a lot more. How many of you remember the plot to The Lion King? Everybody? All right, how many years has it been since you've seen Lion King? Long time? How many of you remember that fact I just talked about? How much more likely are you to close a call if you answer it within 5 minutes? Anybody remember that? 22. You think you'll remember that in 2 years when I ask you? Think you'll remember the plot of The Lion King? See what I'm saying? And the last step is to be chosen, because you want to consistently be the only one that comes to mind first. So you do that by being seen, you do that by being known and trusted, and then people will choose you. You want to make your customers raving fans. Tell their stories. Let them see themselves in your stories. And this is the biggest thing, and I'm going to close with this and then go to questions. I want you to remember that you do not have to be perfect. You just tell a story. This is a framework, and all of these slides, because I didn't go through a lot of slides because I wanted to answer y'all's questions, they're all in your app. There's a lot of details in here, specific stuff to do. But there's a certain framework to storytelling, and this is it. You identify a problem, you create tension in the situation, you give a solution, and then you show the win. It's called the hero's journey. Make your customer the hero and make you the guide. My bathroom flooded. Shit was everywhere. I didn't know what to do. So I called my local hardware store and I talked to Taylor, and she didn't answer the phone, but her AI agent did. And it told me that they had everything I needed to come on in and they would help me get this fixed. And they even recommended, if I really needed the help, a local plumber that they know and trust that could help them if it was too bad for my DIY skills. And that customer came in and got a deck remodel the next week because I'd been so helpful. There it is, just told a story. Post what you're doing. You don't have to make anything up. You're already doing cool stuff every day. You're solving problems every day. You're selling amazing products every day. Your people are doing stuff every day in your store that people want to watch. Just show that. All right, there we go. So this is a framework for building your brand, totally free. If you I think it's like name and email, just put it in there. It'll should email to your PDF. If I did it right, we'll see. If not, let me know. But I've got 5 more minutes or 6 more minutes. If anybody else has more questions about building a brand, social media, sales, marketing, AI, anything that I feel like I like to talk about, golden retrievers, whatever you guys want to talk about. Yes?
How do you come up with the concepts to make videos? Like, we make videos all the time on TikTok.
Yep.
And I have, I think I've got 3 college girls now. They do really well.
Yep.
I mean, I give them ideas that I've seen
on others,
and they do really well with that. But how
that's the best way I would say. There's a book called Steal Like an Artist, and it's basically saying Picasso didn't come up with everything he did on his own. He just stole it from somebody else, right? Beethoven took it from Bach and then he iterated it. Just be Beethoven, man. Just write your own symphony, but with a little bit of Bach in there. And so find the stuff that's already trending, that's already doing well, that are outlier videos that are doing better than the other stuff, and make something that's your version of that. There's some, I send Marion all the time, just hilarious landscaping videos. That's close enough to where you could do something like that, but it's not exactly like that. So you got to have a little spin. but just really cool stuff like that. And I have seen the most boring, like construction stuff go viral because people love it. So, hey, I'm framing up a wall and I'm gonna show you the jack stud and the king stud, and then I'm gonna take an 8-inch timber lock and with my Milwaukee drill and go, 80,000 views. It's like, what? But that works. So just research on that. And I keep a spreadsheet for my clients of, like in Google Sheets, just something really simple, and put the product category. So maybe it was like, hey, this is a construction job site video. And then just take the link from Instagram and just put it in there so they can go back and watch it. That's all I would do. Just keep a spreadsheet of running things. There are some tools that you can buy that, vidIQ is one of them, that will show you what's trending, what's outlier videos. But honestly, I think that's more sophisticated than you need. Just go see what's already doing well and copy it. And then do your own versions of it. Yeah, great question. And kudos for the TikTok. Let me know so we can follow you. Who else?
What's your favorite version for Excel work?
Well, Excel is a Microsoft product, and I really hate them. Google Sheets, my friend. That's my favorite. But if you have to use Excel, I would just probably use Claude, because Claude does really, really well with spreadsheets, better than ChatGPT. I've fought with ChatGPT a lot to try to get it'll do weird stuff that's not real, and you really have to check your data. And so I would use Claude. Claude Cowork is what I would use, actually. And you can download that on your computer, and it does a lot of really great stuff with that type of thing. Or I would just use Google Sheets, and it has integrated AI. Copilot has integrated AI, but just truthfully, I've never used Copilot, so I can't speak from a place of education there, and I hate Microsoft, so anyway. If you don't get these slides, if you want them, my email is Stefanie, spelled with an S, Tefanie, @gripblueprint.com. If you will email me and ask me for the slides, or if you have questions, we'll send you the slides immediately. Anybody else? Yes?
So I think you mentioned, like, at the end of this presentation, at least have one idea to take away for this industry. Like, obviously embrace AI, but what do you think everyone needs to do?
The number one thing I would do is post organic content. That's what I would do. I would be seen. That's the number one thing. I don't think people tell their story. I wouldn't try to do paid ads. I wouldn't do SEO. I mean, yes, do all that. If you have the money and the time, do all of it. But if you could only do one thing right now today, I would get that phone of yours out and buy a little mic like this. It's like $100 on Amazon. It plugs right into your phone. It'll record what you say on the phone. Just go through your store and just start filming and just start posting every single time you can. Don't do a bunch of editing. Don't worry about if it's perfect, just post and figure it out later. And that is what I would do to build your brand. It is more important than anything else. Use AI to get ideas. Use other people's content to get ideas. Like AI can write the captions for you. Super easy. But use your beautiful store stories and your brain to make content that AI can't replicate. My actual best advice is do what AI can't do, which is tell your story. That's the only thing AI can't do. I'm telling you, it's scary. It really is. It can write better than you. It can code better than you. It can do everything better than you, but it cannot tell stories better than you, and it can't connect with real humans. And you can still do that. You always will be able to. No matter what happens in this world with AI, human relationships, especially in our industry, are always going to be the number one thing. So use AI to do everything else and spend as much time as you can doing that one thing with humans. Great question. Thanks for bringing me home, girl.